Today, I want to talk about a film that changed the way I think about human potential, Gattaca. It's a science fiction movie, yes, but more than that, it's a quiet, haunting meditation on what it means to be human in a world obsessed with perfection. 1. A world where genes decide everything. Gattaca is set in the not-so-distant future, a world where genetic engineering has become routine. Parents can design their children before birth, selecting embryos free from disease and enhanced for intelligence, beauty, and strength. In this world, society has been divided into two groups: those born through genetic selection, the valids, and those conceived naturally, the invalids. On paper, discrimination is illegal. In reality, your DNA determines everything: what jobs you can have, whom you can marry, how far you're expected to go in life. Your potential isn't measured by your dreams or effort, but by a blood test. That's the world of Gattaca. 2. A man born wrong. The story follows Vincent Freeman, a man born the natural way, an invalid. At birth, doctors predict he'll die of a heart condition before the age of 30. He's told, essentially, that his life has already been decided, but Vincent dreams of going to space. He wants to work for Gattaca, the elite space agency that only accepts the genetically perfect. No matter how hard he studies or trains, he's told he's not suitable. He's cleaning the floors of the very place he dreams of flying from. And yet, Vincent refuses to accept that his DNA defines him. 3. Borrowing another man's genes. Desperate to follow his dream, Vincent makes a radical choice. He borrows the identity of another man, Jerome Morrow, a former athlete with flawless genes. Jerome, once destined for greatness, is now paralyzed after an accident and living in despair. He agrees to help Vincent in exchange for money, providing him with his blood, urine, and hair samples. Every day, Vincent scrubs his skin raw to remove his own DNA. He meticulously replaces it with Jerome's, fooling the daily biometric tests at Gattaca. Through sheer will and discipline, Vincent climbs the ranks closer and closer to his dream of space travel. 4. Stronger than genes. The power of will. One of the film's most unforgettable moments comes when Vincent and his genetically superior brother Anton swim far out into the ocean, a dangerous childhood game they used to play. As kids, Anton always won. But this time, as adults, Vincent wins. Gasping, his brother asks, "How did you do it? How did you swim so far?" And Vincent replies quietly, "I never saved anything for the swim back." That single line captures the soul of Gattaca. Vincent doesn't win because he's stronger or faster. He wins because he refuses to hold anything back, because he's driven not by his genes, but by purpose. It's not the perfection of his DNA that defines him, but the depth of his determination. 5. The film's quiet symbolism. Gattaca is full of subtle, almost poetic symbolism. Vincent's daily ritual of scrubbing away dead skin isn't just hygiene. It's a form of rebirth, a shedding of the identity society gave him. The spiral staircases in Jerome's home resemble the double helix of DNA, a reminder of the system Vincent is trying to climb beyond. The sea and the stars, recurring images throughout the film, represent the two poles of his life. The sea, the place of struggle and limitation. The stars, the infinite unknown calling him forward. And Between them, the fragile, determined figure of one man daring to rise. 6. Science, ethics, and the danger of perfection. When Gattaca was released in 1997, the Human Genome Project was underway. For the first time, we were beginning to read the code of life itself. The film's message wasn't anti-science, far from it. It was a warning that technology without ethics can turn progress into prejudice. In Gattaca, genetic data replaces character. Your genome becomes your resume, your reputation, your destiny. And while that might sound like fiction, we see echoes of it today. Companies sell DNA tests promising to reveal your true potential. Algorithms decide who gets a job, a loan, or even a date. The line between biological determinism and data determinism is thinner than we'd like to think. Gattaca asks, are we still judging people by their humanity or by their statistics? 7. What defines a human being? At its heart, Gattaca isn't about science. It's about dignity. What makes us human is not the sequence of our DNA, but the choices we make despite it. Vincent is genetically flawed, yet he's the one who strives, dreams, and endures. Jerome, genetically perfect, is consumed by his own failure to live up to that perfection. There's a moment when Jerome says to Vincent, I was supposed to be the best, but I couldn't even be second best to you. It's a confession that perfection without purpose is emptiness. What gives life meaning isn't how flawless we are, but how deeply we care about something bigger than ourselves. 8. The final ascent. In the final scenes, Vincent's dream finally comes true. He's chosen for a mission to Saturn's moon, Titan, the culmination of a lifetime of struggle. But just before launch, his secret is discovered. He expects to be arrested, yet his superior quietly lets him go. Not everyone gets to see a miracle, the man says. As Vincent boards the spacecraft, Jerome, back on Earth, makes his final, tragic decision. He takes his own life, leaving behind his DNA samples and a letter for Vincent. It's his way of saying, you've already become more me than I ever was. And as Vincent looks out at the stars, he reflects. For someone who was never meant for this world, I must confess I'm suddenly having a hard time leaving it. It's not just a line about space. It's about a man who, for the first time, feels he belongs not because of his genes, but because of his choices. 9. A message for our time. Gattaca may be fiction, but its questions are real and urgent. In a world increasingly driven by algorithms, data, and performance metrics, we are at risk of forgetting what can't be measured: passion, grit, kindness, imagination. When we talk about potential, are we talking about statistics or about the human capacity to surprise ourselves? Vincent reminds us that destiny isn't written in our DNA. It's written in the risks we take and the dreams we refuse to abandon. He teaches us that being human means choosing to act, even when the world tells you you're not meant to. 10. A final thought for anyone who has ever felt limited. Gattaca ends quietly. No grand speeches, no explosions, just one man rising toward the stars. And yet, that silence carries a thunderous truth. Human beings are not defined by perfection. We are defined by perseverance, by the courage to go all in, with nothing held back. Vincent once said, "I never saved anything for the swim back." That's the spirit of Gattaca. That's the spirit of every person who has ever dared to dream beyond their circumstances. So, if you've ever felt you were born wrong or that your chances were slim, remember, Vincent. Remember that greatness is not inherited, it's chosen. Look up. The stars you see are not unreachable. They're waiting for those brave enough to swim without saving anything for the way back. Thank you.